Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Liam Rose. I'm an author, mentor, life coach, motivational speaker, evangelist, musician, and activist. In today's FL20S session, we're going to be making a brand new album. So this is going to be a whole new album that I'm going to be creating. This album is called Buddha. The reason why I'm creating this album is because in my life, I've experienced, so many different things that have made me learn about Buddhism and the Buddhist tradition and the Buddhist religion. And this album is a dedication to basically Jesus Christ, Jehovah, and Buddha for showing me, the essence of spirituality and faith. And as I create this album, it's really my relationship with faith, spirituality, fate, and religion. And, what I've learned as basically someone of faith and someone of spirituality. For this particular track, we're going to be making the first track for the album called Siddhartha Gautama, who is the founder of the Buddhist tradition, which is the Buddhist religion. So this track is very important because it's the founder's name within the track. So Siddhartha Gautama was the founder of Buddhism, which is the religion that 500 billion people are following within the world. Buddhism has come from a tradition within 2,500 years ago when Siddhartha Gautama was obviously on Earth. He discovered spiritual enlightenment and then teached his Dharma to humanity, which is to humanity, and through that the Buddhist religion became a reality. So Siddhartha Gautama obviously basically brought Buddhism into the world. Now, it's also important to realize that faith, spirituality, fate, and religion is very important in the journey because, Siddhartha Gautama wanted to end suffering for humanity and for all living beings. So by actually preaching his Dharma and his teachings, he helped to free humanity from suffering, pain, and adversity, which is basically at the moment what's happening in reality at the moment. So this track is very important. It's the founder of the Buddhist religion, and how we're going to produce this track is an intro, verse, and an outro. So let's begin first with the intro. So I'm just going to create it live now. Okay. Okay, so we've done the intro, so we're gonna add it onto playlist now. So next we're gonna do the verse drums. So just gonna add the verse drums. Okay, so we're adding the verse drums onto playlist. I'm gonna make the verse 64 bars, so that's what I normally do. I don't want to make it longer than that. I just want to keep it 64. So, yeah. Next, we're gonna do the verse melody. Okay, I'm going to add the verse melody onto playlist now. So I've just changed it to 62 bars because I did a longer melody, so I'm just gonna do it into 62 bars, which is fine. So next we're gonna do the verse bass. Okay, so just gonna add the bass into the patterns now. So normally how I do the bass, I follow the notes in the melody and then I add the bass that way. So let's hear the bass. So I'm going to cut the bass notes and add it into its own pattern. I'm going to add the bass onto playlist now. Okay, so next I'm going to add in the piano. So just going to highlight the melody again and add in the piano notes. So let's just hear the melody. Okay, so I've added in the piano notes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the piano notes and add it into the piano. So our pattern. Oh, so I'm going to have to do it. Okay, let's do it again. Yeah, I'm just going to add in the notes again. Okay, I'm going to cut these notes, the piano notes, add it into some pattern now. So I'm just moving in the notes. Okay. So I'm gonna load the piano and then I'm gonna add it onto the playlist. So let's just hear. Actually, let's do the outro, and then we're gonna hear the track. So let's do the outro. So the outro, I'm gonna do piano and drums. So let's just do that. Okay, so I've added the outro to the playlist now. So what we're gonna do next is add in the vocals. So okay. So we're gonna add in the vocals now. So first I'm gonna do Siddhartha Gautama vocals onto the intro, the verse, and the outro. So when I produce beats, when I have the opportunity to and the time to, I always put vocals in my beats. It's just a way I've been producing for a number of years. So I normally just add in vocals. It just helps the beat to give it a bit more energy. So it's hard to got more vocals in every third bar. So let's just do that. So just gonna. So just add in the vocals. Just adding on every third bar now. So next, I'm gonna add in the spiritual change. I always add in the spiritual change vocals into the beats. So this will just, or should I do my life cycle story? Let's do the spiritual change vocal, which should just be just before. So I'm just gonna do it before Siddhartha Gautama vocal. And then once I've added in the vocals, then we can listen to the beat. So just adding in the vocals now. So now I'm gonna add my life cycle story just in between. This is basically the branding of who I am as my life cycle story. So I wasn't adding in this vocal before in my beats, but now I add it into all of my tracks because the first song I ever did on my first ever mixtape was basically called My Life Cycle Story. And with Siddhartha Gautama in the Buddhist tradition, learning from Buddhism and also Christianity, my life cycle story is very important. So that's why I want to add this vocal. So I'm just going to add it in any space in between. So okay. So now that we've done the beat, we're gonna play the intro, the verse, and the outro. So first, let's play the intro first.
My life is like a story. Spiritual change. Siddhartha Gautama. My life is like a story. Spiritual change. Siddhartha Gautama. My life is like a story. Spiritual change.
Okay, next we're gonna play the verse.
My life is like a story. Spiritual change. Siddhartha Gautama. My life is like a story. Spiritual change. Siddhartha Gautama.
Okay, next we're gonna play the outro.
My life is like a story. Spiritual change. Siddhartha Gautama. My life is like a story. Spiritual change. Siddhartha Gautama.
Okay, so the beat is done now, the track is completed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to save the MP3 file and then save the zip file and the project file. So normally I save the project file first, so I'm just going to save that. So Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddhas is the name of the album. So before I wasn't adding the titles to the actual track itself of the albums, but because sometimes I make tracks that are the same name, so to identify specifically which track is which, I normally add the album title within the track itself, and also the what's the word for it? The acronyms for the albums, just to identify it's for that specific album. So that's the reason why I do that. So we're just going to save the project file now. So I'm just going to save it. And then I'm going to save the MP3 file now. So just going to save it now. So I've already created a folder for the album, which is on the hard drive. So I'm just gonna, actually normally what I do, I copy it from the laptop onto the hard drive. So I create a new folder for the album. So let me just copy the information that's on the hard drive, and then I can put it onto the laptop, because I always try to back up what I produce as well. It's something I've learned. So basically, I'm just gonna copy the file folder. So, and then I'm gonna copy it onto the laptop, and then put the MP3 onto the laptop before I copy it onto the hard drive. So that's what I'm gonna do. So just copying the folder now. And then I'm going to put the MP3 into the folder. So yeah, that's the end of the tutorial. Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you now. Bye bye now.